campus.
Good morning, class. Good morning. Guys, student. Good morning, class. Good morning. Hey, our students are just your child now. Hey, good. Listen, these people, the class is actually on session. We're literally on air. Now, noisemaker number one. This one. We will tandika you, Noisemaker number one, and then noisemaker number two, number three. Hi, good morning. This is the show, Your World. And yes, we are in class. And class is already in session. It's good to see you on this Relationship Tuesday. And you all know, every Tuesday, matters love and relationships, and could be relationships, romantic, family, work, all kinds of relationships, right? So today, like I said, we are in class, and our students are ready, our guests are also ready, and we'll be focusing on money and love. And of course, the biggest question is, how do financial disparities actually impact relationships? Okay, so we're gonna have an amazing conversation. The question of the day is also very simple, and we're asking, at what point should the money conversation actually come in relationships? Once again, at what point should money conversations come in relationships? Engage with us on our socials, so that is at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on X, and tag me as well at Lubembe_Winnie, and
Mwikali Mary.
I was about to say Mary Mwikali. It's at Mwikali Mary on X as well. So yes, it's about time where we say class
is in session.
Nangami, let's come and do you. Number one,
please. Nimeingia class. Welcome. Karibu.
Let me tell you, you have literally walked in the middle of a class session. So you're good. Tutakupatia punishment. Okay. You decide. Punishment gani unataka?
Unisamehe tu.
Tutamsamehe tu. All right. And of course, again, like I said, the conversation today is all about love and money, and we want to really understand how financial disparities impact relationships in one way or the other. And the question of the day, once again, is, at what point should money conversations come in relationships? All right. At what point should money conversations come in relationships? Mikali, I am so tempted to ask you, at what point should money conversation come in? Before we even introduce our guests today, what do you think? Should we talk about it at all? Never?
I think we should talk about it, and as early as possible, because statistics show clearly that it's the number one issue that leads to divorce when it comes to marriages.
Right?
So if it's number one, shouldn't we start there before I know what's your favorite color?
Like, how much do you earn? Where do you work?
And it's a difficult conversation, really. I think in my older age, I've been able to have such conversations and be open with how much I'm earning.
All right.
As a salary, as a gig, even discuss. Am I asking too little?
Yeah.
Do you think I should ask for a bit more? Do you think they said they're going to pay me 1 million? Do you think I deserve it? How many
you ask 5?
500. You know, at an older age, I've been able to have those conversations, which, and not just with a partner, even with friends, to just open up that space and not make it like a mystery the way it used to be.
It's always like a weird, awkward conversation to have, and especially when we talk about relationships. But hey, we'll get to understand then at what point should we start having these conversations. And also, something else that I want us to explore is on, so does it mean, or is it true that the person who earns more holds all the decision-making power? That is also something that I really want to explore today. But our guests are already here. We have Chris Nyalwal, who's a founder and CEO of Craft Your Future, on my immediate left. It's good to see you.
Thank you for having me. Oh man, I never thought I'd be back in school, right? And in front of the class.
How does it feel?
Powerful. Very powerful.
I like
Thank you for having me.
You know, let me tell you, some of us used to go backbenchers.
Yes. I think the front was for the serious guys. So,
right?
Yeah.
So when
I was never serious. Always the backbench.
And we also have Nangami Masaka, who's a self-mastery coach. I usually call her a self-mastery queen. It's good to see you. Good to have you.
Good to be here. It's always a pleasure to be back. Yes.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing, but this was so nostalgic.
Yes.
I wasn't so sure I'd be in front of a class. Even when I came, I was like, Okay, what's happening? That's why you saw when I came in, I just froze. Yes. Yeah. But this is beautiful.
This is really amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. And you see, most of the time, like when we were in school, we were students like you guys are. So thank you so much for making the time. How are you feeling? How are you? Madenea Pesa. I asked earlier on, is there anyone who's married? Mkasepa, no. Backbenchers. No? Okay, anyone in a serious relationship?
I saw your hands earlier. I saw hands earlier. Let's see.
Okay, word, fantastic. Anybody else in a serious relationship? Okay, is anyone in a situationship? Anyone is talking stage? Guy, Mugozingo.
These guys are studying. They're serious. Yes.
I think talking stage cuts across everyone here.
I think
talking stage cuts across everyone here. Yeah.
Did you want it?
Yeah. Some are in denial, but reality. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll come back to you then to understand and explore, situations about money, and at what point do you talk about money? Do we even hold conversations about money in relationships, that is? But Nangami, I'm going to throw it to you first.
Right.
Because you came in late. You
need punishment. You're not letting me go. Okay.
Money. Can we just understand why money is such a big factor, but also such an awkward thing to talk about, but also quote unquote taboo, at some point. Why? What is it about money?
Because I think you say money has power, or money gives you power.
Okay.
So for the very many reasons, because you see, when you have money, then that means you have options.
Okay.
For most people, whenever you have options, for both men and women. Therefore, it's always going to be a conversation. And I think, just like you mentioned previously, most of the time, this is not how it's supposed to be, but I think it's human nature that the person who has the money has the power. And therefore, if they have the power, they have the control. And therefore, it's always going to be a conversation about, if he has the money, then I can submit. If I have the money, then why should I? Why should I? Because now it means I have needs of control. So I think that's why money has always been an issue, number one, for power. And then two, also when it just comes to comfort, because money has the potential to, I guess, perhaps I can say 80% of our issues are taken care of by money.
Okay.
And that is why no matter how much sometimes someone really loves you and they're like, oh, I love them, they understanding and all these things, but when there's that money, that lack of the money factor, so it takes away the joy and the fun, because now you're limited.
Okay.
How you can enjoy things.
All right.
Because we live in a materialistic world, we can pretend all we like and I don't like money, it doesn't matter, but it does matter, because in a materialistic world, you expect it to be material. Yes, so it's always going to be a conversation.
In a materialistic world, you expect it to
be materialistic.
To be material. Oh no, to be material. Most of the time when you speak to girls, they tell you, me, I'm not materialistic. I am, what do you mean? No, I am
focused on. When the money goes out of the window,
hey,
I'm out the door.
Right? That is how it is. And Chris as well, money, right? Why is it such a big factor when we talk about, and especially relationships now? Because when you look at relationships then, it wasn't like money. It was something, shamba, a tea plantation, and all those things. But now, if you don't get it, sorry, Mukali said, I'm out of the door.
Money is always a very sensitive topic.
Okay.
So many people associate money with good life.
Okay.
So if you don't have money, then you will not have a good life. So right now, the expectations are so high on people showing that they have money.
Okay.
The good life. Like before, somebody who has a good life, you would not see it. Because the guy just has title deeds in his closet that he has money.
Yeah.
But now we have to flaunt it in our Instagram. We have to flaunt it in our social media.
Yeah.
That I'm in Dubai, #blessings, those things.
Ni God.
Ni God to see God. And so now the people who don't have money are really in a stressful situation.
All right.
And these things come with a lot of burden. And peer pressure is also not helping.
Yeah.
So money is something that, if not checked, can really lead to a lot of failed relationships.
Yeah. I say that. Mikata, you're talking about statistics, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a quick one. Before
go ahead.
I need to understand, before we even get to a point where I am in a relationship when you're discussing all of that and the ngumu conversation. What is my relationship with money, though? How do I perceive it? How do I see it? What is my emotional
connection with money.
When it comes to money, because I think it's from that space then that I'm able to be with Winnie and be like, aha, Winnie, so this is the situation that I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
Do you think you can help? So it's not such a big deal.
Yeah.
But how am I supposed to look at money?
As an individual before you even talk about relationships?
Yeah.
I think most people have got a toxic relationship with money. It's not it's not stable. It's not a stable relationship when it comes to money. It's always complicated. And I guess obviously the audience is very young, but once they get out here and you have now the abilities to make money, you're always going to be. There are people who are fearful of money. So when money comes, they hold on to it because I'm not so sure when it's going to come again. So and you know, money likes a stable environment where you're not too obsessed by it, and it wants a very healthy environment. So say for instance, I want to picture it as a healthy marriage.
Okay.
You see, when you have a healthy partner or you're in a healthy relationship, even when your husband travels to the US or to the UK or wherever, and they're away for 3 months, you're not anxious like, oh my God, is he coming back? Has he found someone else? Is he coming? Like, you just sit pretend you know he's going to come back after 3 months. But if you're obsessed, if you're in an anxious attachment relationship, you'll be like, oh my goodness, has he found someone else? I called, he didn't pick, or she didn't pick. Does this mean that we are over? So you become so anxious about it. And that's how people are with money, because money circulates.
Okay.
And that is why when money leaves, if you're in a healthy relationship with money, you know it will come back. That's how you're supposed to view money, that it has gone. It will come back. We are besties, we are married. It will always find its way back home. And when it comes, it will come back in multiplication. But the problem is most people have that anxiety with money, very obsessed. And I don't think if this is appropriate to use this analogy, especially when it comes to men. Like, people are in a one-night stand with money. Like, when she gets in, bam, pants down. Immediately, you know, you want to use it as fast as you can. So that is also, because if you do that to a woman, every time she comes, you don't even give her drink, something to eat. You're just like, she will try the first time, the third time she won't want to come, because it's like, can you give me time to breathe? And this is how even with money usually. Some people give 24 hours. Just let it sit in your account, let it sit in your pesa, and appreciate it. Just marvel at it. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. That is a very healthy relationship that you have.
Okay. Nangami, let me tell you. So there's some people who would honestly want to have money sit in their account, in their mobile money. But the truth of the matter is, inakujaka imeenda.
You have with money. That has always been the relationship.
Okay. So let's
as you try to improve.
Let's sort your might in a second. Do you want to use mine as we do that?
Has disappeared.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so when it comes, you have to discipline yourself. Like, sometimes you see when it comes, if you just give it 2 hours then before you can pay a bill.
Okay.
Just give it 2 hours and tell the person, just give me 2 hours, I'm sorting it out. I'm so sure nobody's going to be really anxious for 2 hours. Okay. Because what you're trying to train yourself is not, because you see, money is energy. This is something I understand. Religious people call money spirit, and those who are in the world spiritual call it energy. So the energy that money feeds on is not what you say, it's how you feel about it.
Okay.
It's the energy that drives your spending, it's the energy that drives however you treat it. So when money comes and it finds a place that's very calm and very composed and whatnot, what you're trying to say is that I'm not anxious about you. You deserve to be here. You're welcome being around here. And now that you're relaxed, I'm able to use you. So that is why there needs to be an entire mindset when it comes to money. That's why there's so many people who love money, and yet they don't find that sort of peace.
All right. Okay, I see that. Let's take a break, and then when we come back, we'll get to understand more about, and it's a good thing that Mikali asked about our perception and our relationship with money, but we also have money personalities. So how do you know where you stand, that by the time you get into a relationship, say for example, you get a hoarder and a hoarder, okay, or you get a spender and a spender, right? And how will that influence both of the couples' relationship when it comes to money, but also really on the topic of a conversation, and that is how financial disparities affect relationships, okay? You do not want to miss any part of the conversation. Chris, I promise I'll start with you because I know you have a lot to say, okay? Right. So we'll come back after the break, but remember the question of the day is very simple, and that is, at what point should the money conversation come up in a relationship? Keep sending your views and your feedback on our way, and that is our socials at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on X, and also use our WhatsApp number 0112 500 400, and we'll also sample your feedback on WhatsApp as well when we come back. But for now, the class takes a break. See you very shortly. Welcome to the show. The show is Your World, and we are in class today. Class is in session, and I'm so tempted to say good morning, class. Good morning, Madam Winnie. Anyway, glad you're still with us on this Relationship Tuesday, where we tackle money and love, and we just want to understand how financial disparities actually affect relationship dynamics. All right, so engage with us on our socials. So that is at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on X, and use our WhatsApp number 0112500400, and tell us at what point should the money conversation start in a relationship. All right, and Chris, I'm just gonna start with you because Nangami had finished her point. Still on the question that Mikali asked about our perception and our behavior, as far as money is concerned, and also talk a little bit about money personalities, so that I know what is my personality, when it comes to money. So by the time I'm getting into a relationship or in a marriage and we're discussing finances, I know where I stand as an individual before even start attacking my partner.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So one thing that people need to know is that your relationship with money doesn't start the day you start earning money.
Okay.
It starts how you grew up. Mm-hmm. The kind of environment you grew up in.
Yeah.
That determines what you spoke about, your mindset. Mm-hmm. If in the African setting, many of us have grown up with what we call a scarcity mentality, a scarcity mindset, where you grow up in a place where you don't have more than you need, but just have bare minimum. Just as long as you can buy food, you can go to school, but not even the best schools, one meal here and there. And then so your attitude to money starts forming at that point.
All right.
Because you're seeing that whenever there's no money, we're eating a lot of ugali and skuma, all right? But when there's money, all of a sudden there's a chicken, or there's a kukula, there's chapati, and we are having fun. Huh? So what you don't know is that subconsciously, your mind is telling you when there's no money, we are playing. But when there's money, we splash, we spend, we enjoy life.
All right.
And then when it ends, we go back to our lives. So such a thing starts developing in your mind. Because our parents never sat us down and told us, by the way, even when I'm buying you chapo, by the way, I'm investing on the side. But us, we don't know that.
Yeah.
So us, we just know when there's money, we spend.
We spend.
And when there's no, we relax.
We relax, yeah.
So that thing is something that has been developing. And so as an adult, people, like the students here, can't wait to start earning money. And when they earn that money, I can tell you they have a list of 100 things that they need. They must be seen.
Social media. Where? Yeah.
Must be seen.
Yes.
So that's how they run into, first, I need to move out of my house. I need to furnish my house. Immediately go into debt because you don't have money to furnish your house. You're just making impulsive decisions with your money. And what she said about just sitting first, just allow your money to sit, is something we don't do. And so if you don't allow your money to sit, the problem is we make decisions when the money hits the account. We are not planning way before the money hits our account.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, just give an example. If you were to fly out tomorrow morning, you'd start making your plans today on what you need to do to fly out. You don't wake up tomorrow at 4 a.m. and say, I'm flying out today. I need to get a visa. I don't have a visa. Yeah. All those things.
You plan
sometimes we are our own worst enemies when it comes to money. Because if you're composed about what you want to do, you'll always tell your money where to go. Instead of wondering
the money telling you where to go. How will they know otherwise? And we're calling is with our audience before we even come back to Nangabi. What are people saying? Because
I like to find out. How many people here are probably doing a business, ama they are employed part-time, una earn kasalo at the end of the month, kuna ama hata kama si unapata ka gig, unapata pesa yako. Nani ameshai earn hapa hivi? By show of hands, raising proudly.
Nice. Okay.
Nice. So nataka kujuaje ulikuwa for the people that have earned so far. Did you have anything like a budget? Did you have a plan? Ama ilingia ukamia mabeste ni aje? Dunia itatutambua leo. Leo watajua Zitex
on me.
Everything on me. And for the people who've probably earned, I think ilikuwa hapa nyuma, you can start or share with him. Say your name first and let us know how you used that amount of money that you got and if it multiplied and if it multiplied to some more. Tutumia microphone yangu. Aya, sawa, shika hiyo.
Okay. Evans Odhiambo. So what I did with, I can remember the first time I was employed.
How much? Me, I'm curious. How much, first of all, did you make the first time?
It was around, let me say, approximately between 10 and 15.
Hey, hapo katikati.
Hapo katikati.
Okay.
So when I knew that the money was coming, iko karibu like 2 days. The first thing I thought it was my mom first.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because I was still in my mother's house, half of it nilimpea. So girlfriend alikuja baadaye.
Kuna girlfriend. Let's hear from him. So hiyo pesa could you multiply? Did you reinvest it somehow into ilisha tu hivyo girlfriend madhe?
At the moment, sikuwa na any link that I could invest in.
Fantastic. Yeah. Good. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Anton Mwatu.
Yeah. Speaking to the mic.
Okay. The first time I got my salary.
Ilikuwa shilingi ngapi?
10,000.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had no plan. Mimi venye nilipata pesa, I just rushed to Mr. Price. Got a shoe and a trouser.
Kwambia vile asante.
Nikaingia mtaa nikaringia mabeste.
Kawaida. Kama kawaida before upate 10,000.
Yes,
kawaida ulikuwa na shoppingi wapi?
Hiyo nilikuwa naitisha mama dad.
Ama unaingia nini mtumba hivi?
Komba, lakini the moment I got that money, nilikimbia Mr. Price because I was willing to. Nilikuwa na aduma kuvaa nguo ya Mr. Price.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Did you hear from somebody else?
Yes.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, do you want to stand? Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. You know, when you go to church, alafu wasema wageni to everybody lifts their hands. And then when they say tusimame, nobody stands. Anyway, but yes, thank you. All right, so start with your name.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Maina Cynthia Nyokabi. And my salary was at the range of 10 to 15K.
Okay.
And my first thing, I just wanted to surprise my mom.
Oh,
I bought for her a bag of rice and a pair of shoes. Just a sandal, because she's the best in my life.
Oh,
yeah.
Mom is watching. Mom is watching.
I know. I really hope she's watching. You know, just scare your message. But really, it goes to say, I think what both of you talked about, that immediately when we get money, kisha ingia hivi, we already know itaenda wapi na itaenda wapi. We don't allow it to sit, right? Yeah. But is it such a bad thing, Nangami? Because Mave, you know, Mom. Yeah. You know, when they have the money, the first thing that comes to mind is to surprise or perhaps even support the ones who've been really close. Let's change your mic. Today the microphones are like, hey, Nangami, okay. So, and obviously, I can truly understand why they would want the money to go where they have sent it, because they want to surprise the parents. And at this particular point, you know, you can't fault them, because it is what it is at that particular point. But I don't think, you say money is not in scarcity. Yes. So there's always another time where when it will come, then it will come with that idea of you can find something else to do. The thing about money is, the concept around money is, can it find a home where you are? Because even when you spend it, however you spend it, because the good thing about money is that sometimes it can be very forgiving. All right. So even when you lose all of it, you can still have more of it, even after you have lost all of it. It's just that mindset of knowing it's not in scarce or it's not in short supply. All right. So if you can have different priorities now, take care of those priorities and understand that it's going to come back, and I'll sort out other priorities.
Okay.
Yes.
So can we talk about the money in relationships? All right. And
Right.
before we even get to marriage, let's talk about dating, the dating phase, talking stage. Talking stage. Have you ever talked about money in your talking stage? Mentioned it? You did what? Yeah, speaking to the mic.
I guess in this generation, the money comes first, then love.
Oh, really?
Let's say you are dating someone, then the moment you start talking, anakuambia si unipatie hata pesa ya nywele.
I mean,
That's kills the morale.
All right. Anybody else? Hilo ya kwanza. Oh, she says it's not true. Why? Why do you feel it's not true? Let's get the mic to you. Wewe ni mrefu sasa kamera inakutafuta haikuoni.
I don't think that is true because saying that money comes first then love, that is not true love.
Okay.
Hiyo ni mcheze, I know.
Okay.
Jules, I don't love you. I love what you want.
What you are.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Oh, she had something to say. Let's pass on the mic to her.
I don't know if I should stand or...
No, I think you're okay. You're good.
So, I really don't agree with that because even for me, first to be in that relationship, it has to be built with love. So then if there is no love, then even when the money goes, then there's no relationship. So I think the foundation first should be love and then money will come later.
Lakini, Miss, I thought it's your generation that says you cannot eat love. Where's kula mapenzi? Okay, go ahead.
So what I think about the topic is sometimes anakuambianga anakujanga lakini not fully love. Love kidogo. Alafu sasa ndo akiona kama una pesa ndo anaweza toka, lakini kama uko nayo ndo anaingia fully.
Mguu iko hapa na ingine iko hapa. Kama iko tunakaa, kama haiko tunaenda.
Morning.
Good morning.
Okay, my name is Ochieng Rivaldo. I wanted to start with the first topic that we started with.
Okay.
That how much were people earning? Nashindwa hizi 10,000 mlikuwa mnaandikwa na kina nani?
Wewe yako ilikuwa ngapi?
Okay, after Form 4, my first salary was 6,000. I was working in a shop back at Kisumu.
Okay.
So as the coach was saying, we waste money because we don't plan for it before it comes. Then after that imeshaingia ndio unataka kuanza kuiplania. Na pia vile umesema remember that imeingia na unajua mali inaenda. But sometimes you ladies look like you're looking amazing. Umeshaipangia, si ndio? Then you see a good dress over TikTok.
Yeah, I know.
I
know. I did the temptation.
And again, remember, we are in Nairobi.
Yeah.
The first impression as men nowadays, like my fellow colleague is saying, that we try to show that we have money first, so that you see, and now love chips in. Then after we show it, utanipenda.
Okay.
Ikiisha, ndio tutaanza kukumbuka which is which. Tunaanza kubalance aje.
Okay.
So that's my take.
Okay. Well, hey, interesting. Oh, one more. Okay, yes.
The most challenging part is, when you talk to ladies, you will see like, oh, ametoka binguni. This is exactly what I want. But the practical part of it is so ironical. Where you start dating, unasikia nasema, I'm not even after your money. Kosa to job 1 month. Nasikia umejua then kauli type yangu. That's emotional damage.
I'm not materialistic, but also zidikazie. Lakini, ngoja, how many of you mmetuma fare? Wabele. Mwenye mmetuma fare? Mmetuma fare? Are you sure?
I think that they're very, very honest.
I know.
And I don't know if you've noticed, Winnie.
Yeah.
But there's a mini war.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's an actual war. Our coaches will help us. If it's an actual war or it's in the minds of men thinking that the money comes first and then love.
And it's like the lady's perception about.
Yes.
Okay.
So what is it? Is it in reality or is it in our minds?
Okay. And for the ladies, nani wametumiwa fare?
Hey. Na umekula.
But yes, they can be.
In fact, I agree with Mwikali because all of these things are just in the mind, and I think they're good for banter, they're good for conversation. But when you come to the ground, the fact of the matter is that women and men are just dating each other on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Broke men have women, and in fact they have even more than one women. You find the broke married men who have side chicks. So it is when it comes to the ground, it's very different, because the truth of the matter is, when it comes to our financial muscle, Kenyans in general are not wealthy. Kenyans in general are not rich.
Okay.
So most women will never in their life, I'm not saying might not, will never date, let alone a wealthy man. a rich man.
Hi, Nangambi ngoja kwanza. You see in social media the way people say Dubai, what do you mean wealthy and rich?
Never,
like we're not.
You see, it's all about numbers.
Okay.
What we rate, what is rich and what is wealthy.
Okay.
And most women are with men who are comfortable. Not rich, not wealthy.
Not wealthy.
Just comfortable. Because when we ask these ladies, how much have you been sent? It's 1,000, it's 2,000, it's 3,000, it's hair money for hair. I don't know. It's small money when you look at it in the grand scheme of things. It really it doesn't push the needle. But the fact that it came from someone giving them money, it's like, I want someone who can give me money. Let us be practical about it and say, not so many people in this Nairobi earn 100,000 Kenyan shillings.
Okay.
We know that is very true.
Yeah.
So think of it this way. A man is earning 100,000 shillings. He's got his own bills. He has to pay his rent. He has to take care of himself. He has to set his mother up, his siblings up. How much is left to give to a girlfriend? And that is the minority who make 100,000 Kenyan shillings. So the practicality of it is that most women will always be with either average or broke men. But the conversation on social media is always going to be as though it's such a big thing. And the truth of the matter is, ladies are also contributing in their relationships. You have to ask these girls. You go to see your guy. Perhaps, you're buying a few things in the house. You want to buy milk. You want to buy... Like, that being taken care of and the baby girl soft life, it's things that we see, we aspire to, but the truth of the matter is, it's not yet there. Because look at myself, by the way. And you look at most people in the streets. Most women are average. They look average. So you can't say that, she's living a soft life. Look at how she looks like she's being taken care of.
Yes.
So, and also when you see at the grand scheme of things, it's not so many women. It's the very few who give this, because all people will be like, they will mention their favorite social media women who are being taken care of, and then it will be construed to mean it is so many women who are going through that. When the truth of the matter is, it is not.
It's not. Okay.
Yes.
How many of us got that pressure during Valentine's Day? Squeezy, usually flowers tuliacha, squeezy ni money bouquets. People are being ready for 50K to pressure. Let me tell you. But yes, so understanding the dynamics in a relationship, because according to the society, the man is the head of the home, right? And the woman was about the neck, so you guide the head where to go. But when it comes to like money and possession of wealth, it's usually on the man's forte, right? Or docket, right? But then again, now we're seeing a lot has changed, right? So then those dynamics, like how does that play in relationships now, where the man is expected to handle the money docket and then the woman is to decide what the money does, but now it's like a reverse. Women are making their own money, so they have the autonomy to their own money.
I think society has a lot to play with, how certain institutions work.
Okay.
How they influence how it works.
Right.
But it doesn't mean it should work that way. For some of us who went to church, who go to church, biblically the man is the priest of a house. So he then has the mandate to be the provider and take care of the family.
All right.
Right? Now, when money comes in, before it used to be the man has all the pressure of being the breadwinner.
Yes, and to provide,
right? and all. But I think when you enter the institution of marriage, it means you entered an agreement that we are going to partner in this thing.
Okay.
All right? That we are going to, I won't let you sleep hungry because you're the provider and I have money, but now since you're the provider, you don't have money, we'll sleep hungry. No, it should be us as a household deciding on what our money is going to do for us.
For us.
So what is the problem in I can't speak about dating because dating has no covenants to each other. That doesn't what you do with your money, people are like, it's fine. But when you're married, it means then your money also married. Your money also married. So it's no longer of who is coming in with more money, it's how much money are we putting in the pot to sustain us as a couple, to sustain us as a family, and to achieve the goals that we have. So that tends to relieve the stress that comes with, I must provide, even though I'm earning 10,000 shillings. And my wife has a corporate job. She's a CEO.
Yes.
She's bringing in 500K a month. But I'm there struggling to still do that.
Yeah.
So I think a mentality shift needs to happen.
We need to do that. Now, so two people, right? I like you, you like me, let's get into a relationship, let's get married. How much do you earn? How much do I earn? Okay, how much do we put in a joint account? That joint account thingy, we'll talk about it in a sec. Okay, so how much are we putting in a joint account? Is it okay for me to have my own personal account? You have your own? All these conversations, right? But then there's this one who has more deni. Okay?
Yes.
And they're bringing it into the relationship.
Yes.
Should I help you pay the madeni ama vice versa? Should they help me pay deni zangu zile nilikuwa nazo before we got into a relationship?
Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
Now, there's this couple who, you enter into marriage.
Okay.
And, when you enter marriage, is supposed to be something called full disclosure. This is what I'm coming with. And this is what you're coming with.
Okay.
And let's deal with it.
All right.
Now, the thing I bring in my good parts and hide my bad will affect us. All right. So in this particular relationship, the lady had quite some debt.
Okay.
Nowadays, loans are very easy to access.
Yes.
I mean, I can borrow here, mobile loan, borrow there, and life moves on. So the aim was, I'll pay this loan slowly until it's out of our way.
Okay.
But life happened. A few years later, auctioneers show up to this guy's house.
Okay.
Now, they're coming to take everything we've been working so hard to do in this house. And then the guy's like, why didn't you tell me?
Yeah.
We could have figured this thing out. We could have found out a way, because I could be here saying, oh, we have extra money to be going to Dubai every month.
Every month.
But
why not?
Maybe there's a debt that we could have said, okay, fine, let's hold up on this.
Okay.
Let's clear this and we move on.
Yeah.
So this thing in marriage, everything should be disclosed.
Okay.
And then you work at it together because it affects both of you. Like in this case, the man was just sitting. He was just chilling. And then auctioneers are showing up at his place. You're like, what? and now that also just breaks the trust.
It really does. It really does. Yeah. But at the same time, there's also a lot of shame associated with debt. All right. That I wouldn't feel comfortable to just say, hey, listen, kabla tupatane nilichukua hii loan nikafanya 1 2 3 and especially ulichukua loan hukufanyia kitu ya maana. Sometimes there's that stigma. Yeah? You're living beyond your means. Ama you're very what's the term? You're very I'm not mzuri when it comes to money. I'll figure out the term, right? So can we address that, like stigma and shame when it comes to money and when it comes to debt, rather? And how do we break that so that, like Chris says, full disclosure, everything on the table?
And I think what he's alluding to, I just want to add on to that, is that you see most people don't do enough vetting when they're coming into relationships.
Okay.
So you see the vetting has always been very superficial when it comes to, who people will marry. It's usually like, can he provide? Yes. Can she cook? Can she clean? Can she give me babies?
Yeah.
And you leave it at that. But it goes beyond that. You have to evaluate people based on their spirituality. If you're a spiritual person, you have to be with someone who you're equally yoked. If it's mental, you have to understand, where is this person mentally? Because sometimes men have also put themselves in situations where you're with someone who's woo-woo and you're like, she's crazy, but I just like, she's curvaceous. Yes. And she's beautiful. And that's a mess, because that is how even men put themselves in very precarious situations. And now you have a baby mama, it becomes drama for the rest of your life, because you also have toxic women. And then you have the mental aspect. So let's come to the financial, because today we're discussing financial aspects. How you do something is how you do everything. So I'm thinking, even with the example that you alluded to, this person goes, if they have not paid their debt up until this point when they're about to be auctioned, they have not revealed it, it goes on to show you that when it comes to handling finances, first of all, they're not, they don't, their word, when it comes to their word, they don't keep their word.
Okay.
Because if you've taken loans, you're supposed to know that I'm supposed to pay up. And if I don't pay up, it's going to accrue some penalties. It's my responsibility to make sure I pay. So I'm thinking, even as they were in the relationship, she also still had the same relationship when it comes to money and collecting debt, such that it piles up.
Yeah.
So you see, this is the person when it comes to that debt, people who have collected, you realize it wasn't just a one-off thing.
Yeah.
It's something that is in them, and it's going to ruin this person. That is one. But then again, when it comes to the shame that is is debt, people have to understand, what am I taking debt for? Because debt is good. Debt is good if you're taking it for investment, you're taking it to put it in a business, and then supposed to go and give you children, It's a really good thing. Debt, in fact, businessmen and even like real capitalists use other people's money to fund their businesses and fund their dreams. So it's a good thing. But for people who take debt just for the sake of they have access to debt, and then once they get out,
you know,
and I think people should be allowed to and people should suffer their consequences, the consequences of their actions. And I think so when we come to that concept of debt and now having, and by the way, you should, when you vet people, you have to stop carrying baggage. Baggage is bad, because when you take in someone who has got baggage, someone who has got financial irresponsibility, they will take you to the trenches.
But is there anyone who does not have any form of baggage?
You see, baggage is very different. Because when it comes to, you see, when you have someone who's financially irresponsible.
Irresponsible is the word I was looking for.
Yes, someone who's financially irresponsible. Yes. Because let me tell you something. This is not to profile, but not all, but some women are in survival mode. So because they're in survival mode, they are very reckless. So that is what you come and meet a woman, and the first time you meet her, she has 2 months rent, she has not paid. She's owed handbags, she has not paid. She takes handbags, she doesn't pay clothes, nini. And so when you look at such a woman, you have to be very careful. And I'm alluding to women because obviously I'm a woman and I know that women go through such situations. So when you pick up someone who has been in survival mode, and when you want to date someone who's in survival mode, you are coming in to solve their problems, because they're looking for someone to rescue them. They're looking for a savior. And when you're looking for someone who's looking for a savior, you have to be sure you're going to save them. And this, either it will make you resentful as a man, or it will take you to the trenches.
You know what? But then again, but at the same time, men like to feel needed. So you would find, right? Like, jelly parent, 2 months, small money. Soft life and all those things.
Yes.
And even for the men. So, asking as a woman, so then how do I know that this person is financially irresponsible? Because remember, when you're dating, during the dating phase, they want to take you to nice restaurants, flowers every single Monday just because, you know. Have you eaten? They won't even ask you if you've eaten. M-Pesa, they send you food. You know,
lunch.
So they put you on that level, and maybe they're reckless. So how do I know, Chris? How do I know that this person is financially responsible? Because the first times it's good, we enjoy, and then you get into marriage and realize,
So relationship is a journey. You don't arrive for an interview and say, this is what I've been doing. and then we have a 2-hour session. I'm like, okay, fine, you pass.
Yes.
It's a journey.
Yeah.
That's why you're encouraged to date for a period of time.
Yeah.
So in this walk that I'm doing with you, I will pick up a few things.
Yes.
You should be observant, as you're doing things. For example, the shame aspect that comes with debt is because we spend it on things we shouldn't be spending it on.
Yes.
If I came clean and said, I know I have debt, but it's because of my business. I tried this business, it failed, and now I have debt to pay. I won't hide it.
Yeah.
But if I come and say, I've just been taking Fuliza and my wardrobe is full of
the latest trend.
I'm broke here, but you can see my page. I'm trending. You know, that kind of thing. That's how the shame comes in. Because what we are doing with the money is not what we should be doing with the money. And so, in your relationship, as you're going about things, of course, the man at some point will give you some money. And, sometimes you say, okay, please help me do this and this. I give you money.
Okay.
But then the next time we meet, you're like, Aki, imagine I didn't even do that. I did this and this and this. So there are certain things you start picking up. Something like, hey, okay, what's happening? This rent issue. Okay, I came in as the savior of the day. I paid it this month. Your arrears are done. But then next month, it's the same story. So what's happening?
I know. I mean, why should I? But anyway, we're not saying that.
There's a fine balance between me helping you out in your situation and me being an enabler to you.
Okay.
All right?
I see.
So you have to ensure you're not an enabler, but I'm helping you sort your life.
Okay. I see that. Hey,
Winnie.
Yeah.
There's something you said, I've been sitting on it for a while. You talked about the shame. And we do that a lot.
Yes.
I don't know if anybody here watched Love is Blind. Could not I watch Love is Blind? No? Okay, sorry.
No?
God.
Yeah.
Have we watched Love is Blind?
Yes, I
Love
do.
is Blind season 1.
Oh no, I didn't watch season 1.
Okay.
I actually started
so
watching
season 1, that was the way they go through the pods.
Yeah.
So eventually, this couple comes together and they have to spend some time together before they are introduced to the world. Because your parents, our dream koapi, umeenda kutafuta mtu, you're getting married. Spontaneous. So, when they start talking, this lady has debts. Debts on debts on debts. And this guy is a really nice guy. He's doing well for himself. So as an audience, we are angry, mad at her.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
Because when you look, well, there were some responsible debts, there were others that weren't. But that was the situation at that point where we would look at you and judge that you have debt from Shule. Why did you pay? Because doing a debt, your makeup, you know, there are things, please do something about it. Yeah. But my question then would be, when we get in, probably we are on the same page. You don't have debt, but I like to spend my money.
That's the thing.
Aggressively, maybe.
Yes.
And there's somebody else who's a saver. So how do we find a balance? How do we find a balance? You're already in marriage. Then you may realize YOLO is what we are doing. Like, tomorrow is not promised to anyone. That is what they would say. Yeah. But then we're here. How do we handle that?
I think
give you the moment.
The thing is this.
Yeah.
You must understand each other's personalities.
Yes.
When in marriage, especially, you must understand: is this one a spender, or is this one a saver? Is this one a hoarder? Is this a warrior?
Yeah.
Is this one indifferent? You must understand these different personalities that are coming into play.
Maybe you can just break it down what those personalities are. So just in case.
Yeah. Very quickly before we go on a break.
Is somebody who is a spender. Now, this is somebody who, as long as money is in their account, they have their license to spend. Like without worrying, without any limits or controls, just want to, to feel nice.
Yeah.
It's never with ill intention. They just want to feel nice. I'm buying something for the house. I'm buying something for the kids. I'm buying something, but without any control. All right?
Yeah.
Then there's that person who's a saver, who's always like, come on, let's think about tomorrow. Let's think about tomorrow. We can't always be spending as much as, let's think about tomorrow. So they're kind of more restricted in that sense.
Yeah.
Then there's somebody who is indifferent. Now, this is not somebody who's like, babe, can we talk about money? It's like, no, you handle it. You handle it.
Yeah.
Like they don't care. Are we good? You tell me. Do we have money or do we not?
Yeah.
They don't want to know, are we investing? What are we investing in? Our children, education, all those things. They don't want
Do most women fall in that category? We do not want to worry about you taking
I've not done any research. I don't have numbers.
Okay.
So those people are indifferent. And then there's the one who's a warrior. He's always out of so much fear. We could lose our money. Let's put it under our mattress. Let's not spend. Let's not invest. I just want to see my money and not do anything with it. So you find these guys tend to be very, I would say, like misers. Like, I don't want to lose my money at all. The hoarder is also, I think, also in the similar scenario because they just want to see money. The ones I just want to be logging into my online. 3 million. Just that's it. That's it. I'm not going to be drawing. I just want to see it there. I don't know which one have I left.
The indifferent.
I think I've just said that. The one who doesn't really want to avoid money conversations. People who avoid money conversations. So now, once I understand the partner I'm with, we are able to talk through it. Because the thing that people need to do is, now that we are a couple, we need to have couple goals.
Okay.
And not couple goals for matching kitenges.
I mean, listen, yes, social media.
But
couple goals.
In terms of our plan for our lives, how do we want to live our lives? Planning and saying, okay, we want to be, traveling once a year together. We want to be taking our children to a certain type of school.
Yeah.
We want to be investing so that we have this kind of net worth after X amount of years.
All right.
All right? Now, once we agree on that, and both of us need to be sold in on this, this is something that both of us need to be very done together. It's not the man saying, this is where we are headed, you follow. No, because you lose the person down the line. They'll drop off and say, that was your vision, that was not me. And the same thing with ambition. You need to have the discussion of, what do you want? The lady could say, I still want to work for the next 10 years. I still want to do this and this. I still want to fly to Paris before I die. And the man also says, okay, I want to start my business to do this thing.
Yeah. And now you
agree
to different goals,
on how are we going to there has to be some compromise.
Yeah.
You can't have both ways.
Yeah.
But a compromise that works for both of us.
Okay.
That way, when we put money on the table, we know that part of this money is going towards our common goal.
Okay.
And then we give each other some money. Do this for yourself. I do this for myself.
Listen, the $1 million question is then, at what point should we have these conversations around money? Disclose your debt and all those things. But can we discuss that after the break?
Sure.
Because students want to attack when the short break. All right, so we're taking a short break right here on Your World. And remember, the conversation is all about love and money. And we want to understand how, again, money impacts a relationship. And this is as far as, the inequalities and all those things, money, all right? But if you have a question, please send them our way. And that is on our socials at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on X. And also use our WhatsApp number, 0112-500-400, and ask your question away. We'll also be engaging our audience here with us at Zitech University Pioneer Campus, right here in the CBD as well, to really get to understand where they stand as far as, money is concerned. Okay? So we'll see you after the short break. To stay with us. The show is Your World. Back to the show. The show is Your World, and we are in Zitech University Pioneer Campus. We're in class, literally. So this is the second period. How we used to feel about it. Yes. This is when you start dozing off, but this is not that kind of class. This is not that kind of class. No. This is not that kind of class. I'm glad that you're still with us right here on the show, where we talk about money and love, and we just want to understand how money impacts relationships and the relationship dynamics, all right? And who earns more, who has the power, when it comes to money, who makes all the decisions. Me, baby girl, I don't really want to worry about money. You take care of it and all those things, right? So like I said, the question of the day is very simple. And the question is, at what point should the money conversation come up in relationships? At what point should the money conversation come up in relationships? So at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on X, is how you can get in touch with us, or use our WhatsApp number, 0112-500-400. Mikali, do we open the floor yes, right about now, because they have questions.
They do. And we have a Chieng here with a mic. So
all right. Okay.
What is your question?
Shoot your question.
Okay, thank you. This is to Coach.
Okay.
What are some of the strategies maybe that you can use to resolve financial disagreements? And the second question, in a situation where I have a partner, or we are married, and maybe she wants to, or he wants to change his career or her career, or stop working, how will you go about that?
Ooh.
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
So the first question was, how can we resolve discussion about money? Now, the thing is this, we both must be committed to the growth of our relationship.
All right.
We both must be committed to our future. All right? So there'll be times when money will be scarce, but we need to be on the same page in terms of, this is our scarcity season, and we need to do this together for now. Wait it out, and when things get better, then we'll move on to better things. What usually happens is one party is not sold out on the common goal of the relationship. So one party wants to go their own way, maybe because they're making more money, and they're like, I have all the power, I can do what I want with my money. But then what you're forgetting is, we are in this together. This is our journey together. So just agreeing on that will help sort a number of those fights. Because sometimes money is very emotive. Some fights for money are not even logical. It's just an emotive thing. So you need to ensure you're not fighting on an emotional level. You're like, okay, this is what we want to do. Let's do it together. And good times will be ahead of us. So let's not always focus on what's happening now and what's bad. Yeah? And then now on the question of the career, somebody wants to change their career, or somebody wants to be a stay-home parent. Nowadays it doesn't matter. It could be the dad, it could be the mom. Yeah, depending on who is providing the income. Now that's when the discussion needs to come in of, this is our life that we want to achieve, right? What money do we have in our savings right now? How much do we afford? How much do we have that can take us for this period of time? Because you can't just wake up today and say, I quit my job. You know, it has consequences. We have children who we are planning to pay school fees for. We have things that we had planned. So you need to first do our financial analysis of how are we doing right now? Are we in debt? You know, if we're already in debt, then you quitting your job means we are just going to go zero, way more into the problems. So we need to understand where are we right now. So you need to assess how much income do we have, how much savings do we have, how much debt do we have, and also how have we been living? Are we living beyond our means or within our means? You know, if your expenses match your income, you're already living beyond your means.
Yeah.
All right? Even though you're not borrowing, you're already living beyond your means because you don't have any amount that you're putting aside to save, to invest. All right? So many people tend to forget that aspect, that you need to have money that you're putting aside to save and invest for your future, because we're not about living this life and staying in this life today just paying bills. We need to work towards a better future. Okay. So I think starting with knowing what is our financial situation right now, then can we say, can we hack it? Can we continue for the next 6 months? Let's put these things into place. Then we can do this and this.
I think it's a very brilliant question, which I think ties in with that being a voluntary willingness to step back, probably because there's a child that needs to be taken care of or something, or maybe you lost your job. But then this makes the other party the sole breadwinner. And when that happens, sometimes there will be, it will seep in, especially if it's reverse, where it's the woman who is the sole breadwinner. There probably are feelings of resentment somewhere in Ingia. How do we navigate that space? Because it is true, with the way things are, sometimes you do not know who will be working, who will not be working. So when we find ourselves in that space that was not planned about, was not talked about, we did not even imagine we can be in a space where wewe kama bibi yangu ndio unashikilia familia. How do we navigate that space?
And I think that's you see, the good thing what he has mentioned is when it comes to finances, relationships are very holistic. And so it's not just about the money, but how someone will treat you. And let's say, for instance, it's the man who now doesn't have a job, either because he's lost the job, business is not doing well. Like say, for instance, during COVID. So there are women who are in essential services. So your wife is a nurse, she's a doctor, she's in essential services. And then the guy is in the hotel business or whatever. So you see he's at home because people are not meeting, So most of the time it was now she's the one who's going out and you're the one who's coming in. So this is something that has been caused or it has been brought about by an act of God. This is not something that was voluntarily, it just happened. But how you navigate that situation will depend on the quality of that relationship. Because you understand in Africa, I think generally just women are not built to be the sole providers, especially when it comes financially. So when the lady has to step in and still be in a position where she is not big-headed for the gentleman, it will depend solely on his leadership. It will depend solely on how he has treated her over the years or over time. Because if your only selling point as a man is money, that I can provide and I have the money, then when the money is out of the equation, then you lack relevance. Because you are bad behaved, you lack emotional stability, you lack mental, the mental or intellectual capacity to handle certain conversations. So, and then you become insecure. And this is something I'd ask especially the young men. Work on yourself, work on your esteem, such that no matter how much a woman earns, it does not dethrone you. Because most men are afraid of having a woman who has money because they feel dethroned. Because if she has a lot of money, then what's my position? And that is an insecurity in itself. It goes on to show you that you can't be king unless you have something over her. And that is you looking for power to control someone simply because you have it. So just to go back to the question, how that situation will be navigated has nothing to do with money. It has everything to do with the leadership of the man of the house. And if you are really good to her, she's going to be empathetic, compassionate to the situation. In fact, she will cover you. she will cover. We've seen so many times, our mothers used to cover up for our fathers so much. Some of us think that it is our dads who pay our school fees, and then when you look back, you're like, it's your mother who used to take money from Chamas to take you to school, and you didn't understand it. The many times you went out, it's your mother who gave your dad money in the bedroom, and then you guys went out and you're like, oh, my dad is so nice, he bought us things, and it's your mother who's been doing that all along. So that will depend now on how the man leads the home, because even the finances, that is why most women usually are supposed to look for the man who's the leader, because as a leader, you do not provide guidance during the good times. Your capacity as a leader is visible during crisis. Now this is a crisis, and now it has to be revealed at that particular time. So it will depend on the man too.
I have a follow-up on the same as you pass on the mic to the other person, right? So there's this thing about, and I'm pretty sure you've had this narrative where men say, maybe I cannot date someone who earns more than me. And even for the ladies, they're like, I cannot, get involved with someone who earns less, than me, because that's how because I have my nini together. So then how do we navigate that? Because it's a mentality that we have. And even let's do a survey. Okay. Men, how many of you would ever date someone who earns more than you guys? Would you date someone who earns more than you? How many of us would? How many of us would? A lady who earns more than you? You would. Okay, the rest absolutely not. Okay, for the ladies, how many of you would either date or marry someone who earns less than you?
Where money is not a factor. Ni mapenzi tu. Wasichana na tunabobea. Wasichana tunabobea hapo.
None. See? So it's
a thing. Yeah. And let me, this is what I'll have to say. You see, women and also men, we don't submit to the man. We submit to the power in the man. And that's very different. Okay. Submitting to the man and the power in them. We submit to power, not the man. That is why there's so many men out here who every day they're like, you have to respect me. She has to respect me. You're powerless.
Women nowadays are not submissive.
They're not submissive. You're powerless.
What are we submitting to?
Yes. And power is all about the self-mastery of the man. You see, power is not about control. It's not about obedience. Power is an energy. It's a force. There's a man who he does not have it, but when you're in his presence, you submit. Okay. You watch your tongue, you watch how you run your mouth, how you do things, because they have mastered discipline, commitment, consistency. They are men of their word. So you see such kind of a guy, even amongst his friends, he may not have the money, but he has some sort of power. And you see, power is like a magnet.
Yes.
So this is a conversation that most people do not have about the power. And that is why most men will never be loved for who they are. Most men would never know what love from a woman is, because women will be with them for the money. When the money is out, she leaves.
Influence,
and the influence and the power. I was having a conversation with a particular married man, and he obviously he had some string of girls, maybe 2 or 3 of them. So we were just having a conversation, and he's like, you see, for me, I will never lack a woman, because women love me. I said, excuse me, women don't love you. You lose your money today and see which woman will be with you.
Yep.
They don't love you. They love what you have. And it's giving you the illusion that they love me. Actually, it is what you have. And that is why you have to work extra hard. And this is a conversation that you should be very careful of. You're working so hard to get the money so that you can keep the women, which in essence, you are still at the lower level of vibration, because you are working hard for their validation to be able to keep them around you, which when they are not around, they don't give you the validation, meaning you never had the validation to begin with. And so when it comes to money, the conversation with men, it's deep, because it has to come from a place of self-mastery, such that money now no longer becomes the thing that you only have conversations for or around.
So then does it make me a bad person if I say outrightly, me, I cannot date, because we see people being judged a lot when they say, I cannot date someone who earns less than me, or is, I don't want to say lower standard, because standard is relative, right?
I also like that we have a man here who can tell us from their perspective, what is it like?
So does that make me a bad person? You're materialistic, and yet I'm saying, no, I cannot.
Nikona goals.
And even for the man who says, I cannot get involved with a lady who earns below, say, this much, does that make them materialistic, bad people, evil?
No, the thing is this: we must understand that we've been given free will. different free will. Even you decide, do I want pizza or I don't eat?
What works for you and what doesn't?
So
yeah.
I don't think the problem is you deciding who you want.
Okay.
The problem is, what is your motive?
Okay. All right.
What is my motive behind me saying I cannot marry somebody who earns less than me, or I cannot marry somebody who earns more than me? What is your motive?
Like she live a good life, balance.
So you know, because this person, if you marry somebody who makes more than you, then after marrying them 1 year in your marriage, they get an accident and now they don't have work.
Yeah.
What happens?
What's gonna happen?
Does it mean now we split up? You know, what does it mean? Do you go back to the market?
Okay.
You know, you have to you have to look at the motive behind you saying I want this person.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Think about that. All right. Okay. Kindly, as we open the door. Okay.
I still have something.
Okay.
There are two situations here. A lot of men nowadays, I'll do to the best of my will or my luck, ili niku please.
Okay.
So if I'm getting into that relationship or marriage, already naingia niko na madeni, sifanyi kazi, but nakopa ili nikupeleke Kempinski. So naingia kwa relationship already kama niko na madeni. And the second situation is, you're already in a marriage. Now, a lady, the reason why we are afraid, because when a woman is earning more than us, is because she will start showing it. That open communication will reduce. That mutual respect will come down. Right. That empathy, that you putting yourself into my shoes because I don't have, won't be there. Automatically, I'll be afraid. And again, money is power. That power won't be complete if I don't have money.
Hey, coaches, are you ready? Chris is like, okay, all right, so take note of that. Okay, let's get to hear someone else. A question?
So I'm Derek Prince, and I'll put my question in a case scenario. Let's say we are in a relationship or married, yeah? We're both earning, we have salaries, but unapata kuna pesa inatokanga tu mahali. And then for the men, unaambiwa pesa yote inaingia kwa relationships, ndio? But for the ladies, hii pesa ya kando, apart from the salary, anaweza weka kando. Is that logical or is just, how is it?
Your money is our money. My money is my money. That is the question.
But, skiza, I said salary, yeah, it's salary yo. Kuna hii pesa inakujanga tu. But then for the men, they have to put all of it.
So if I have side gigs,
yes, let's say like that.
And my side gig money is my money.
Yeah.
But salary, nime open, nime share.
Yeah.
But
for the man, the side gig yote inakuja.
Side gig yote na salary inaingia kwa relationship.
Hey. Well, okay, all right. She has a question, and then we'll answer that, and then we'll take the next batch.
Mine is not a question.
Okay, all right. A comment.
Ilikuwa tu the maonis of when your conversation ya money inafaa kuanza wapi na relationship.
All right.
For me, I felt that tunaingia relationship, tunaanza kuongea tapata watoto watatu, you know, and then it end up not being a relationship. So for me, I feel like your conversation when it comes to money, we need to be sure that we are going to get married. See the dating, the way you have said that, the dating stage in a covenant, like even though you know, like that's not our issue. Now when we just see ourselves in the next 5 years, so tunaanza ku reason together when it comes to finances. But when we are dating, like on a courtship, we're not sure. We're just trying to get to understand each other. So for me, I will say that your conversation, your money, get to a point like now, okay, we want to take this to another level. Okay. So then, yeah, that's my view.
Hey, maybe another level. But can we answer? Because I'm told we have like a minute and a half at this point to go on a break. Would you be able to answer? You decide amongst yourself who wants to take what.
Okay. Fine. I think I'll take his and hers. Get on her comment. Just contribute towards it as well.
Okay.
Okay. So we have decided as a family we are budgeting together, but then there's always something coming on the side. We say we can't afford this right now, but you seem to always be advancing. You have a new iPhone, you have a new stuff in your closet. I think the issue that needs to be addressed there is trust. Okay? Can I trust you? You know, ask yourself, you should have that conversation with your wife. If I've fully disclosed my income, why is it that you are not fully disclosing the other income you're making? That's a very big trust issue. And the fact that can you trust me with our children? Can you trust me with your life?
Okay.
You know, if your answer to those is yes, then what is money? Because it's not as big as our children or my life. So it's something that society has made it you know, that phrase of my money is our money, yours, yours. It has been so populated until people think that's the truth.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah.
It's far from the truth.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I see that. Nangami, you want to answer his?
His question, yes. The first question, obviously, is it's a flaw in the system. You know, when someone is doing things for other people's validation, I think it's a character flaw. It's something that you're supposed to take care of because you have to really work on yourself such that you are very complete and you're enough. You don't seek validation. You don't have to expend yourself to prove people. So that in itself is already flawed. It's just a character flaw, and I wouldn't advocate for it. I think people just need to be very confident in who they are, and people, you show up however you show up. People take you how they take you. If they don't, then well, they can step out. And then I think the second question, I'll arc back to the leadership, where you have a woman or you have someone who, you know, you don't want them to have a lot of money, because if they have money, then they will not submit, then they will talk to you recklessly however they want. Then it just goes on to show you that you don't know your woman too well, or you have not yet stamped your authority for, you know, not authority in the sense that, you know, you're very authoritarian in your house, but it just goes on to show you the level of power that you have. Because if the only thing, when you don't have money and your woman can talk to you anyhow, it means that money was the only thing that you led with, and now that you don't have it, she has every right to speak to you anyhow, because in her eyes you have lost relevance.
Yes. Well, should we take a break?
Yes, let's do that. Let's take a break. But when we come back, I think I would like to know or be schooled on now, what do I do with the money? So it's here. How do we how do we plan actively?
Yeah.
How much do we save? What percentages? You know those things? Niko shule. Class ni
class in session. Class in session.
Class ni
and also respond to her a little bit, because she said until tujue relationship inaenda wapi.
Yeah.
Tuanze kuongea stories za pesa. But what if you get deep into that relationship and then you realize this person is very irresponsible with their money? Money hoarders, you know, rich but generous. What is that word the ladies we use? Rich but still generous, you know. So then what happens? Do you break up? We'll analyze all that, okay, after the break, but also go through some of your feedback. So do stay with us. The show is Your World. Class is taking a break. We'll see you very shortly.
Shilingi 1,000. Toka kwa hiyo sanduku. Stoki. Rudisha hiyo pesa kwa sanduku namba 10.
Ongeza ifike 50.
Kwa nini? Anataka ukule popcorn ukitizama runinga, sawa? 100,000 Kenya shillings. Inch TV. Smart. 1,000 Kenya shillings. Yes.
Niachenya shipite boss kwani mimi ni dive.
Is DJ Zeddy. Drop that.
Machi 7 tunasherekea wanawake, tunapiga hatua kwa udhabiti na nguvu. Chini ya anga angavu tunaanza safari ya kusherekea wanawake wanaoongoza njia. Tunawakaribisha wanawake wote Muthaiga Golf Club kwa uzoefu wa kipekee wa mchezo wa golf. Safari ya kusonga mbele imesalia nasi, tunapong'aa kwa mtindo wa kifahari na uzuri wa kipekee. Huu ni mwendo wetu, huu ni wakati wetu. Heri ya wanawake duniani.
I don't want to leave like this.
Then don't leave us this way. At least not until you tell me why you wanted to stop me from marrying Alma.
Did you have to tell Leonardo everything that happened between us?
He is my friend, and he deserved to know the truth.
Julio, if you tell my son anything else...
What? Are you going to sick your thugs on me like you did last time?
All you know is how to cause pain, and you damage everything you come into contact with. Because you destroyed my brother, Angela, your father, and even your mother. Don't you mess with my family. Listen, I am not afraid of you, and I'm not going to let you mess with Dario and me. We will see what happens. You have no idea what I'm capable of when they provoke me, Clarita.
You are the one.
Welcome back to Your World. Today we are at Z-Tech, Nairobi City Campus, Hapa CBD, and we have an amazing group of students who are contributing to the conversation that we are having today. How do financial disparities affect the relationship dynamics? Whether you're dating on a personal level, in marriage, una handle aje iyo maneno yenye tunasema ya pesa leo. And the question of the day today is, at what point should the money conversation come up in relationships? At what point should the money conversation come up in relationships? And having this conversation with us, giving us a lot of wisdom, is Coach Chris, a finance coach. And we have the self-mastery queen, as Winnie likes to call her, Nangami. Karibuni sana. We are excited to learn more. Like I said before we went on a break, I'd like to know. So now we are on the same page. We are tunatengeneza mikakati. We are making a constitution of this marriage, of this relationship. And this is how we need to, we are on the same page in wanting to save or living, finding a balance. But what are the nitty-gritties of working this money or making the money work for us? How much do we save? Do we have numbers that can guide on such? Because sometimes we come from a place of I don't know. Tuweke half basi, tuweke sijui ngapi. Tunaishi nyumba pengine ni half the rent. Like, how do we break it down to know this is what goes where?
Okay, so the place where not many people start from is knowing what are we chasing? What is our why? Okay? Coming up with a vision board. This is where we want to be in this number of years to come. That's very important. Many people simply say, I want to be rich. Why do you want to be rich? You know, money is a tool. Money is just a tool to get you to where you want to be, the kind of experience, the kind of life that you want to live. So we need to start with, what are we chasing? What is the big thing that if we achieve would mean the world to us? Once you have that figured out, then you can then even start saying, okay, for this to happen, we'll need to have this amount of money in terms of investments, you know, to fund this lifestyle. For example, some of us would want to retire very early.
Yes.
Now, for me to retire, how much money do I need to be making in terms of passive income for me to live a good retired life? I need to have a figure to it. I can't just say I want to retire by 40 or 45. I need to say by the time I'm 45, I'm actually making 300K from my passive income. You know, investments that are working for me, I don't have to actively work. All right, so now that you have a figure saying I need to make 300,000 from passive income, then now we come to our present. Then now we say, where are we at right now? What do we have? What are the assets that we have? How much money am I making? How much money are you making? We are writing all these things down. How much debt do we have?
Your microphone.
All right, so how much debt do we have and all these things? So we put this first down on paper. And then now we come up with some structure. It's important to have some structure. You know, making money and investing is something very boring, I must say, because you'll be doing the same thing over and over for years. All right, it's not fancy. Okay, you could land a job here that pays you 2 million, and yeah, it just fast tracks you. But it's about discipline and doing the same things over and over consistently. So then now we say, can we take control of our money? And how do you take control of it? By giving it, telling it where to go, through budgeting, giving it clear guidelines of this is how we're going to do. We're going to be living at this amount is going to be our expenditure. Let's say 50%. This amount is going to go towards our needs, our rent, our food, and all that. Then this amount is going to go towards, things that our wants, things that we would like to have, but it's not a must. So it's flexible for us. Depending on the season we're in, we could pay for it. Next month, maybe we could not pay for it. And then a percentage needs to go towards your savings and investments every single month, doing it consistently. Now, the 50, 30, 20% rule is always a good guide to start with. But I tell people, budgeting is flexible based on how badly do you want to achieve your goals.
Okay.
So if I can afford to live in a much lower lifestyle, and I want to achieve my retirement goal of 45, even by 42, then I need to expend more towards my saving and investing journey than towards my needs and wants. So it's about how badly do you want to get there. So then once you have done that, then you come up with a plan of, first I need to have what we call an emergency fund. Okay? Don't start investing before you have something called an emergency fund. It's a safety net. It's a safety net for you so that in case anything happens to me or to the person I'm with or to my family that may need me to send some money, I have an emergency fund that I'm going to. I'm not going to liquidate investments every time I have an emergency. So that's a starting place. You need to accumulate an emergency fund, and this should be at bare minimum 3 months of your expenses, worth of your expenses. So as a family, all right? If you're married, it's as a family. So it's not individuals, as a family. So if as a family, our monthly expenses are 70,000, then we need to have at least 210,000 as an emergency fund to begin with. It doesn't mean that's the maximum to begin with. So that helps me cushion any emergencies that comes along the way so that I can consistently invest in something over time that will keep increasing my returns. And so things like power of compounding come into play. Yeah.
When you talk about the word budgeting, depend your words, Anna. This economy, it's important. Some of these sacrifices have to be made now, for as we prepare for the future. Now, as Mikali was bringing us back, I was going through some of your comments and kuna mtu anasema hapa, Gino Manijino Jemo on Facebook says, which money are you guys talking about? Simi pia mniwekeza macho. Ndio nijiunge na hii discussion yenu. And then someone else says, this is Anthony Ego, who says, I don't think money has to be involved in a relationship because no money is involved during interviews. Dating is an interview to each other. So no money, and that is why I'm single. And I'm in Nairobi. Hey, Anthony. And then someone else says, this is Samson, son of Kiriago, says, what problem is relationship solving your life, or what problem is money solving in relationships? You're so used to transactional relationships, and that is why you're sneaky. Who's sneaky, Sasa? Is it men or women, all of the above? And then NATO KR Lucas, still on Facebook, says, money is important, but should not be the center of love. I lived with my wife, jobless, for like a year, and I tell the prayers, trust, and the decision to live together made us go through the storm. When money came, we had already gotten used to each other. Finally, when two people are determined to live together in love with God, everything else you ever desire comes automatically. Why? Engineer Jack, PE, says, without money, there is no love. Money is everything in this life. No money, no love. And then Frederick Ogutu says, it should not even come. That conversation should not even come. And then Shem Muikia says, money is important, and that is why both parties should come with their own. You know how people ask nowadays, what are you bringing to the table? Then the woman is like, I am the table. I am the table. What are you bringing? So Nangami, then let's answer that question. At what point should we hold these conversations around money? And then when we're together, like in a marriage now in this case, because like you said, dating, you've got a freedom, you do what you want, right? With your money and all those things. So then how do we handle conversations around money? Because again, like you rightly said, there are ups and downs. Money will come, money will go, we'll not have money, we'll have money. So then how do we handle conversations? Forget even the money itself, conversations around money, in marriage. But hey, at what point should we begin with given what she said?
At what point? Now, this is a marriage.
Yes.
I think it has to be...
No, even dating. Even dating, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think it has to be... You see, we are 8 billion people on the planet, so all of us cannot want the same things. Different people want different things. So there are people who are just like, I'm dating you, I can't give you money, I will not do anything for you. And the lady's like, okay, if you can't give me money, then I can't give you goodies. So you decide what works. You see, and there are people who are very transactional, because we can't all sit here and pretend that all of us are really looking for the same things when we get into relationships. Like there are people who are benefiting of, he's here for something and she's here for something, and the rest of it. So I'm thinking that's why he said in the relationship it's free reign. However you people decide to handle your relationship, then that's it. If you want to give each other money, if it's the woman who's supporting the guy is supporting the girl, none has money. I remember when I was their age, I don't think money was a factor. Back then when I was in college, if you're dating, you just got to first year or second year and someone is there. Like when you look back, it wasn't a lot, because you're depending on your parents, they're depending on their parents. Some come from really disenfranchised environments. So even the men do not have the money, to take you, because there are some young men who are paying their own school fees and they're also sending some money home to mother. So you see, they don't have a lot of money to talk about. But of course, a woman or a woman of my age, when I get into a relationship, obviously money is going to be a factor when we are having conversations. One of the first conversations. Yes, it's a conversation that we are going to have early on and immediately, even as we are dating, because I understand that a woman of my caliber, obviously, you don't want to take me to a dingy place for lunch. You don't want, when you call me out to dinner, you're taking me, I don't know, we're going to dingy places or whatever. So for me, I have to rate you based on your financial standing. I'm not just going to be like, oh my God, he's so handsome, I love him. And no, I'm going to be, he's tall, he's dark. I'm just going to be like, is he, and it's not about, can he afford me? It's all about, can he afford the things that I afford myself, so that we can have a beautiful relationship. Because over the weekends, on my own or with my girls here, we go to Nakuru, we go to Naivasha. So I want to know, are you able to do these things, or am I doing them by myself because you are incapable of doing that, right? So a woman of my age is going to want different things compared to the younger girls. But then again, when it comes to marriages, I'm thinking he has already mentioned the doing part. Okay. So what my input would be, for the both of you have now a mindset about money, like now approach money from an abundant mindset, not from a scarcity mindset, so that you know how to deal with money from I think an elevated bit about money, because you have to understand that money does not come from doing. Money comes from you and your mindset. You can make as much money as you want as long as you have the mindset. And you see, the good thing about money is that money will come to you with regards to your mind. So if you sit here and you say, by the way, Zakayo, the economy is hard, things are difficult to make money. You see, as you're speaking towards money, money is listening. It's like, okay, so it's difficult. And that's why there are certain people who have to work really hard to make money. And then there are certain people who just believe, I'll make money. And even when they don't have money right now and they're supposed to make money to make a deadline by 1, they're not bothered. Because they know somehow it will show up. And because we understand the other side of money is like, if you're not anxious about it, and at around, I don't know, you have experienced this where you don't know where you're going to get the money for a particular bill, but because when you're not worried about it, at around 11:30, just someone sends you money who owed you, and they send you the money. So you see, having such understandings about money, you're not fearful, you're not anxious, you're not worried about it as a family, then it brings a totally now different dynamics when it comes to understanding money. So I think the abundance mindset, so that you don't have one who's abundant and the one has a scarcity mindset, it brings a certain friction, because you have to understand money comes from you. You don't do the thing. Once you have that idea of money, it will impress what you end up doing now.
I see.
Yes.
Hey, Mikali, based on the conversation today, wewe nani? Personality yako?
Unajua, Nagami keeps saying, talk to the money. Yani, it belongs.
Tell the money where to go.
It's here. It comes from within. Inaongeleshanga pesa. Inakuja unayacha inakuambia money, you are gorgeous. You're here to take care of me and this and this and this and this. But sit there for a bit, enjoy that space. I think it's a beautiful, and I don't know if you had this clip that was going around. Kanyimba was saying,
money loves you.
Yes.
Money is attractive to me. And when you listen to it, you're like,
Delulu. This one is
Delulu. But she's right. She is right. She is right. And hearing it from Coach, you go,
Yeah.
You know,
and have that good relationship with the money. Love the okay, see, love your evil, but don't have that, because you see, most of us when we were growing up, money was evil.
Money does not grow on trees. Does it grow on trees?
No, it does not. Wale wako na pesa, wale walima, they are corrupt. Now it's talking about wash, you know. So our attitude towards money was very negative. That I had someone actually say that I don't want to have that kind of money because it's evil.
Yes.
But really, that is not the case, right? Like this on what you said.
Just to speak on to that.
Yeah.
That's a very flawed mentality. Because if I could take you back to, what the Bible says, we were put on this earth to prosper. We were not, to have dominion, to do all these things. And for us to do these things, we need to have money.
Yeah.
Because right now in the society we live in, money talks. The people with money decide what we are going to talk about. So in essence, money is not the evil part. We are meant to have money so that we can do something with it, constructive, something that, living out the purpose we all put here to do. And so when you say, I don't want money because it's associated with being evil, no, that's a very wrong mentality. It's the love of money. There's some people who, even if they have 50 billion, they still want to steal another 20 billion. It's a sad state of affairs.
It's true. It's true. Okay, so then now that we've understood, first of all, understanding our perception and our attitude towards money, and also understanding the different money personalities, and say someone is watching us and thinking, well, hey, maybe the hoarder, I'm a maybe the spender, I'm a maybe the warrior, I'm a maybe the, so how do we then help all this people and say maybe it's like a couple, one is a hoarder, one is a warrior, beginner is a spender, beginner is indifferent, how then can couples find balance when it comes to money? I don't know if I asked this question earlier, but
it's a very important question, right? We've covered everything else.
Yes. So then now that's how we know all this. Then what?
The importance of knowing different personalities is now I can take action with the information that I know. Okay? Say, for example, I know you like to spend without limits.
Okay.
Then it means our joint account needs to have 2 people approving it every time.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay. Yes. Okay.
It's just putting measures into place.
Like, joint who? Joint where?
So if I know you like to spend, we'll agree that I'll give you money to spend and put in your account, but if you're joint, we must approve both of us.
Both of us, all right.
Okay? If you're the kind of person who is very emotional, when you're happy, you spend. When you're sad, you spend.
Yeah.
Then we find ways of countering this.
Yeah.
All right? So maybe we say, when you're feeling emotional, call me first.
Okay.
Call me first. I have a conversation with you. Call me first. I'll come pick you.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
What will I have done at that point? I would have limited your access to different joints of spending.
Okay.
So it helps me help you and help this relationship by me understanding your personality.
I see.
If you're somebody who likes to just get debt for consumption purposes, then we can say, okay, if you need money, please, let's discuss it first.
Okay.
Let's discuss it first. Don't run to the Fuliza and the mobile loans before we talk about it. Because then now you're not giving me the chance to try and help out in this situation. So open communication does help in terms of dealing with the different personalities.
I see. Nangami,
and
someone who's single. Someone who is single, and they're like, me, I don't want to get into a relationship with baggage. You said baggage. So then how do they improve on their money habits? And then, I think that will take Mukali in the audience.
Someone who's single, right? And I think because everything has to start with the mind, and everything has to start from the self. And when it comes to self-mastery, the first bit usually is self-awareness. You have to be aware that this is the sort of person that I am, and then you seek help. You seek ways in which you can mitigate forget the problem that you have. Because most people know the problem they do have, and they're always asking, so this is my problem, what should I do? Like, you have the problem, then go seek the help that you need and figure out how you're going to be responsible, especially when it comes to your money, and then fix your mindset about it. Because transformation can only happen with the renewal of the mind. So that is where everything has got to go. And there's certain people who don't even know they're in the pits, they're in the toilet. So the moment you're aware I'm in the toilet, then you look for ways you can call for help, you can shout, you can look for ways on how you can find your way up to the top. And I think just to add on to what he was saying about your partner, if there are two people who are different when it comes to their expenditures with money, you lean to the one who's more responsible. And then sometimes it could be the woman. I've had so many men who, before they can make a decision, now they have to call the wife. And usually we're like, why does he always have to call the wife? Because he knows his weakness. And he knows that maybe this investment, he'll get money and be like, I think I need to get a TX. And then once he, consults with the wife, she's like, this is not perhaps the worthy investment we need, because he's an emotional spender. He has money, he wants to get property, he wants to get this, and it's the wife who has to put a barrier and a barricade. And I think that is also just understanding that you're flawed and that you don't have everything. Like, I'll tell you for myself, I am a procrastinator, so if I get a partner, I want someone who's sharp. Someone who gets things done. Like, Nangami, you get a call right now, respond. Like, sometimes I can say a call, I'm like, I'll call tomorrow, I'll call later, and I don't call. Or I'll respond to this WhatsApp message. I'm just saying, like, so if I can have someone who can, like, really help me become, like, they're the people who get things done, and I'm really willing to accept that that's a problem I do have. So even when I get into a relationship and I have someone who can help me get better in this level, then that's okay. And I think when it comes to money conversations, that too should be handled the same way.
Mr. Sharp, Nangami is here. This is our last chance to ask any questions before. We have a question here. You have a question as well. Okay, so we'll start there.
And also, munataka kuuliza maswali when we have 2 minutes to end the show.
Let's go. Okay, so for me, before I ask this question, this is just my thinking out loud. So if you have, you're in a relationship, and then the relationship was based on money, like you're the kitu factor. Now what? Okay, this says that in Asamanga, money is everything, but money is not the solution to everything. Now what if, like, it's not a question, I'm just thinking out loud. Now what if, like, there's no money, so there's no love? So I was just thinking of how love should be the foundation, because at times money won't solve the problem. At times you need that love, you need that affection, not because you build that love, that relationship in the base of money. You're not getting that love. Like, you're also drained. As much as you're enjoying the money, you're also being drained because you're not feeling that love. Also, my question is, okay, so you're in a marriage. So kila mtu akona different vision, but no one is willing to let go their vision to support the other one vision. Like, me, I want to build hii yangu. Unaona, wako like to build na hii yangu. So unafika aje to a point of, okay, we agree, like, sasa, like, I think sasa, like, everyone akona their own vision, but sasa hii ni yetu as partners. So where to that point, inafika wapi that point where one is willing to let go his vision to support the man, both they don't want to leave, they want, like, kila mtu asupportiane.
So can we just take one more before to fukuzwe hewani? And please keep it short, very short.
Okay, my name is Linus Simiu. So my question is, let's say nenda kuanza relationship ama nenda kwa marriage. What are some of the examples naweza detect kwa who my partner zenye hizi handle, tusema hizi handle hizo pesa vizuri, ama ataniletea shida, atakuwa complicated when it comes to money. So nataka kujua some of the examples, though at least avoid.
So I think let me just take her point, and then things to do with marriage. I don't know. I have a feeling you're married. You're able to handle that situation better, especially when it comes to the vision one. Because me, my understanding of vision is very selfish, because I'm alone, so I'll give a very selfish answer. But I think onto the first comment that you had, I would really ask that you change that kind of mindset, because usually that's a very scarcity mindset. Every time you find yourself thinking of either or, like, it has to be, you can have both love and money, and that is the environment which you should always, you are infinitely abundant. There's nothing that you lack. You see, God needs nothing because he's everything. So So you see, because of our scarcity mindset, we usually think that we should have either or. The moment you refuse to have that in your mind, even your perspective and how you approach life is going to be different. So for me, I refuse to accept that I can find, I'm spelling doom on myself. I will always think of abundance. So just to act back on that story, there's so many people who, when they get money, they're like, I have money right now, but I can't go and live in this particular neighborhood because what if I lose my job? Why are you spelling doom on yourself? Why is it that the first default setting for you is lack, not abundance? That I have to go and live at a particular neighborhood because my income can only get better. So you're always supposed to have an abundance mindset, not a scarcity one.
And the people said amen.
Sometimes we enter a relationship thinking we are always the perfect one. Okay? They always say, how can I judge that they are good with money? But how good are you with money? You also have to ask yourself, how good are you? Because if you are legitimately good, then this person will have no reason.
All right. Can I give you mine?
Oh, sorry. Okay, I don't know. So I'm saying if you are legitimately good with money, then the other person will actually see it. All right? And they will be in a position to say, okay, you take the lead when it comes to our finances. All right? But if you are not a good handler of your money, but then you're saying, I want to control your money as well, then it won't work. So you be very open as well in terms of how you manage your money, and then now help the other person if that is their weakness. Yeah. Yeah.
The coaches will still be here and you can do that. My mic is not there. This is good? This is good? Yeah, so we will have the coaches here so that you can ask all the questions that you have, but the class has to come to an end. Thank you so much, Coach Chris. Thank you so much, Nangami. It was amazing. My take home, I can have it all. I can have love, I can have finances. I need to talk to money, and I need it to sit there. Winnie, uko sawa? Lesson yako ilikuwa gani?
Let me tell you. Personality, understanding the personality, and then also ask the question, how good am I
with the money, without judging and pointing fingers? Thank you so much for tuning in today. We always love to hear from you. See you tomorrow. It's Wednesday, it's all about your health. So stick around to find out what that is all about. Asanteni sana from me and Winnie. Adios.
Goodbye. And thank you so much, you guys. You've been amazing.